My opinion is that I miss speed weeks, being there. Even though when I was racing, I was ready to go home on Monday and Tuesday. I missed the practices and just sort of the lead up. It was good. It was a storyline. It created storylines. It sort of was the appetizer and the teaser for the Daytona 500 and built the momentum up to that race.
Hey there, racing fans. Today we're diving deep into the world of NASCAR, where we're tackling one of the hottest topics in the sport right now, the future of the Busch Light Clash. Yes, you heard that right. We have some interesting takes from the who's who of the NASCAR community like Dale Jr., and many more who did not shy away from voicing their thoughts and showing support around the topic. Over the past few years, we've seen the Clash shake things up. From its move from the iconic track, Daytona International Speedway, to the Coliseum in Los Angeles, to discussions about taking the event international. But with NASCAR considering its options, including a potential return to Daytona International Speedway, the excitement is palpable. So, where will the Clash flag drop in 2025? Let's dive in. NASCAR's Busch Light Clash is the opening race of each season, and while it doesn't count toward the point standings, it still has massive significance. This year's Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum is officially over, and the conversation that has taken precedence besides Denny Hamlin's victory lane visit is the season-opening Clash's future. The Clash isn't just any race, it's NASCAR's opening spectacle, a prelude to the adrenaline-fueled season ahead. From high-speed thrills to heart-stopping moments, it's a race that keeps fans on the edge of their seats, year after year. For the last 3 years, the sport has taken the Busch Light Clash to the Coliseum in Los Angeles, California. Well, before that, the event was held each year at Daytona International Speedway, from the race's inception in 1979 until 2021.
It has rained through the night on into the morning and cleared just about an hour before post time. They have tried frantically to dry the track out for a start. We have now run 14 laps officially.
Let's shed some light on this iconic racetrack. Well, for starters, Daytona holds a special place in NASCAR history.
From the world's finest motor speedway, the 2.5-mile high-bank Daytona International Speedway, welcome to the richest race per mile in the history of automobile racing. Ready to watch a race that pays $50,000 for 18 minutes work, $18,000 for second place, David.
It's where legends are made, where speed and skill collide on the iconic high banks. And let's not forget the electrifying atmosphere of Speed Weeks, the perfect backdrop for the Clash to kick off the season with a bang. Given NASCAR's 3-year handshake deal with the LA Coliseum, it seems we've seen the last of the rubber burning there, a point Dale Earnhardt Jr. didn't shy away from on his podcast. Moving on to the ongoing debate around the venue for the race, NASCAR Hall of Famer Dale Jr. believes the Busch Light Clash race shouldn't be in Los Angeles anymore. In fact, he stated his opinion on his podcast and shared it shouldn't be anywhere except Daytona International Speedway. He also revealed how the Daytona kickoff used to be the perfect lead-in to Speed Weeks. But with the current lack of practice runs and the week's buzz, perhaps it doesn't make a lot of sense to have it at Daytona. For NASCAR to rev up the Daytona 500 hype, it'd need to rewind to the full throttle days.
And barely having just a blip of practice and in qualifying race, we're going to go to Daytona, the most important race of the year, the Daytona 500, and put the cars right into qualifying and then run a duel to sort of understand where everybody's at. The practices build storylines. The Clash builds a storyline. Whoever runs good or does something great, it allows us to build a narrative around, okay, man, this guy won the Clash. Is this the team to beat? Is this the driver to beat? It may give us an incredible story of some rookie that comes out in the Clash and stomps a veteran leading into the Daytona 500. But we don't have that. And so, I kind of miss Speed Weeks and the build-up.
While Dale Jr.'s heart is set on a return to Daytona for the season's opener, he was also quick to note that a comeback to Daytona International Speedway might not be in the cards anytime soon.
I favor bringing the Clash back to Daytona. I believe that that's probably very unlikely. If you're a promoter, right, or if you're involved in any type of event, you want it to be as big as it can be. You want to take it where it's most wanted. If you've got somebody over here that's going to give you more money to bring it to their neck of the woods, then you're going to choose that, right? Over taking, if you take it back to Daytona and it's pole winners and it's a 20-lap race, it's going to be very lucrative in terms of a business, right? It's not going to make you a lot of money. there's better opportunities financially, I think. That's why it goes to the Coliseum, right? That's why it probably ends up somewhere else next year, is because of the local community and the governments and so forth buying in physically, like, investing into the race, and getting our sport in front of a different audience. And so I understand the importance of that. I'm not gonna get bent out of shape no matter where it goes, but I just feel like that, it was very helpful as a race at Daytona to sort of tee off speed weeks.
Dale Jr. figures the allure isn't just about the dough, it's about taking the race to fresh faces and places, thanks to local backers and government greenbacks eager to roll out the red carpet for NASCAR. Dale Jr. also hinted at a wild card track that could steal the spotlight if NASCAR decides to do something out of the box. In conversation with Dale Jr. in a recent podcast, Denny Hamlin too expressed his views on the topic of the Clash moving back to Daytona. The Joe Gibbs racing driver engaged in a conversation with Dale Jr. expressed his thoughts concerning the economic impact of the preseason exhibition race. The latest edition of the race had a prize money of $2.2 million, and this was nowhere near Hamlin's liking.
Well, it needs to be on an oval. I'm pretty firm in that belief that it needs to be on an oval. If we go somewhere, it can't pay 25% of what a normal race pays. Well, if you look at Bob Pockrass posts what the purse is for each and every race every week, and it's right around $8 million, somewhere in that range. And this week was 2.2.
Okay.
So it's 25%. So it's economically, this race is a loss, no matter what you do to it. But now if you are going to tell me that we're going to go like this, it gets to a point where this is not an investment for the teams anymore. If we had the option, all teams probably would opt out. I just believe that I think there's merit to what you're saying in the build-up of Speed Week. Certainly we should not be going to Daytona and just qualifying.
While the move to a different location was an attempt at reaching a wider audience, both Hamlin and Dale Jr. believe that NASCAR might be better off reverting the race to its original location.
This is the biggest race, and if you don't have build up to it, there's going to be a price to pay, and it could be through rating. I think that there is merit to running there, but certainly if you told me we're going to go back to the Daytona Oval, for the quarter of the purse, now we're more likely to tear up equipment. I don't know what the net differences of that versus going all the way to LA, right? Yeah. I mean, the travel there, that's pretty heavy on the team. So I'm not really sure. I don't know the right answer. There's only so many warm weather tracks.
While Dale Jr. and Hamlin expressed their unfiltered views about the ongoing debate around Clash, Kyle Busch interestingly involved fans in voting for the track, where they would love to witness the opening race of the season. So to settle things once and for all, Kyle Busch took to Platform X to share a poll with the community. NASCAR fans voted for the venue and made their choice loud and clear. In the poll, a staggering 62% of you voted for a return to Daytona. That's right, Daytona International Speedway, the legendary track that has hosted the Clash for decades. And while Dale Jr. was pulling no punches, as he expressed his desire to see the Busch Light Clash return to the Daytona International Speedway, Kenny Wallace also chimed in to support the Cup Series icon. Only a few hours after the Dale Jr. podcast came out, Kenny Wallace took to social media to comment on Jr.'s Daytona wishes, while also passing a strong message for NASCAR fans.
For the people that don't know it, Dale Jr. started his show back up this week. He was very vocal. He was pretty pissed, and he said there's only one place for the Bud Shootout. It's Daytona. Bring it back. He don't care if there's 14 cars in the race. That's where it needs to be. Dale Jr. is like that old commercial. When E.F. Hutton talks, everybody listens. So NASCAR's listening too. While we all agree with Dale Jr., then you all need to show up. It pisses me off equally. You all go, yeah, it needs to be back to Daytona. All I ever remember you all saying is, they wreck too much. It's boring. Look, there's nobody in the grandstands. Because of everything you all said, they wreck too much, there's nobody in the grandstands. It's not what you want. Now you want it right back to where you said you didn't like it. You know what this is? You know what that is right there? That's a forked tongue. It means you speak out of this way, then you speak out of that way. Make your mother mind up.
And with support from other racing veterans like Kenny Wallace, the call for a Daytona showdown is louder than ever. But what about NASCAR's ambitions to take the Clash beyond US borders? The idea of racing on foreign soil has sparked plenty of excitement, with venues like Mexico and even Europe being considered. But as negotiations continue, it's clear that securing a deal for an international event is no easy feat. While an overseas clash would undoubtedly bring new thrills and challenges, the allure of Daytona remains undeniable. So, what will be in the future? Will NASCAR bring the clash back to its roots at Daytona International Speedway? Or will the allure of international adventure lead the sport down a new path? One thing's for sure, the future of the clash is brighter than ever, and we can't wait to see where the checkered flag flies next. Well folks, that's all now for the first race of the season and all the debate around it. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments, where do you think the clash should go next? Until next time, keep the conversation going on Lucky Dog on Track.